Hello and welcome to another Common Sense Linux video. This one will be a mild rant.
The tradition of Festivus begins with the airing of grievances.
In the spirit of the recently passed Festivus season, I have some problems with some of you people, so I'll take this opportunity to air some grievances. In the past few months, there have been many complaints from people inside and outside the Linux world about various aspects of that world. Setting aside the wars over System D, Xorg versus Wayland, GNU utilities versus Rust, etc., I want to focus on something that has been irritating me for a while now. The complaint that Linux would be better if it was just standardized across the 100 or so distros available. One of the most prevalent complaints I've seen is about package management. Complainers ask, why are there so many package management systems across Linux distros? I suspect that this problem, a problem at least for those complaining about it, stems from the nature of Linux itself. My impression is that Linus Torvalds kind of just threw out the kernel in 1991 and more or less said, here it is, do with it what you will, and people did. After all, the Linux kernel itself isn't of much use if there's nothing to use it with. One group of programmers worked on a package management system called dpackage. Another group worked on something called RPM. Various others thought they could improve on these, and along came Pacman, Zipper, DNF, Yum, Slack package, Portage, and on and on. The complaint about the varied nature of Linux package management is analogous to complaining that there are too many hamburger chains, or that there are just too many different car makers. Why do McDonald's, Burger King, and Wendy's exist? Can't we all just agree that McDonald's is best and skip the rest? After all, they're just hamburgers. Why do Ford, GM, Volkswagen, and Toyota exist? Can't we all just agree that Ford is the best and do away with the others? After all, they're just cars. To my mind, the retort to this is, people generally seem to like choices. And with Linux distros, that's just what you get. Instead of posting whining complaints about this or that distro's choice of package management, just pick a distro, learn how to use its management system, and move on. It's not like LibreOffice, VLC, and Firefox aren't offered under various package management systems. They are. I'm even led to understand that those programs are available for Windows. These complaints remind me of a Wendy's ad from the 1980s.
Pay attention, please, thank you. It's next day there. Very nice. It's next evening there. Very nice.
Having no choice is no fun.
It's next swim there.
These complaints usually come from people outside the Linux world, or those who are just entering it. I can understand to some extent their complaints, but pick a distro, learn its ins and outs, and move on. If you're dissatisfied with one, move to another until you find one that fits your view of how things should operate. And complaints about this or that piece of Windows software not being available in Linux should be addressed to the software developers, not to the Linux world. More worrisome to me are complaints coming from inside the Linux world. Many electrons have been spilled about standardizing Linux to make it more appealing to others, particularly to those presently inhabiting Windows World. Is this some attempt to make Linux World as constrained as Windows World? I've read pieces claiming that there are plots afoot to force out distros that refuse to bow to System D or refuse to make Wayland the only display server. And this is going on to the point that some desktop environments will not distribute versions of their environment for anything other than Wayland. I'm not going to get into which of these is better because I don't know. I've always used, for example, Xorg. Now I use Xlibre and a System D-less distro, Dev1, because that's what I'm used to. I really don't care that GNOME and KDE are going strictly Wayland for their desktops because I use neither. I employ OpenBox as a window manager and build from there. I do care that these moves may restrict what programs I'll be able to use in the future. Just as you can't run Windows-only programs on Linux without some hoop jumping, I'm concerned that to mollify the complainers, or just to garner more corporate support, the same could happen with Linux distros. Maybe it won't happen. Maybe the theories floating around are all wrong. After all, Red Hat, which is the source of both System D and Wayland, has been around for years as a proprietary Linux distro, and still other distros abound. Maybe some programmers will devise ways around this possibility, and there'll be forks aplenty. I just don't know. I do believe that constraining Linux to please the complainers will not work out well for anyone. No one needs another Windows. Anyway, gotta go. There's a sale on aluminum foil at Walmart. Thanks for watching. See you next time.